What's up everybody, Isaac here. Today's story is really crazy, so you're going to want to stick through to the end. With that being said, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and comment what your favorite part of the video was. So without further ado, we're going to get right into the story. Today's story is about two friends, let's call them Matt and Joey. So Matt and Joey have been really good friends, throughout their whole life. And Matt was a huge Travis Scott fan, alright? He loved him, he was his favorite artist, and Matt's birthday was coming up. So, they've been friends for a long time, so Joey's like, you know what, I'm going to get him a really good present this year. And luckily, Travis Scott was performing near them that next weekend after his birthday. So Joey was like, you know what, I'm going to send it. And he bought 2 tickets to Travis Scott for Matt and himself to go and see him live. So Matt's birthday was on a Friday, and the Travis Scott concert was that next Saturday. So that Friday, Matt received the present from Joey. And, they were super hyped. They were like, listening to only Travis Scott that whole night. They stayed up till midnight together, just super hyped. Matt was super grateful he got him the tickets because, he's not the most well-off person in the world. So, yeah, like, it was a good night. They were super excited. Travis Scott was that next night. So they slept together at Matt's house because it was closer to where the concert was going to take place. And so the concert was at 7 o'clock that night. So the whole day, they were super excited, like, what are we going to wear, all this stuff. Clock finally hit around 6, concert started at 7, so they were like, all right, let's go. They didn't want to, wait in a line or anything, so they just wanted to get there early. They were so excited, they didn't want to sit around and wait anymore. So they got there around 6:30, they had their tickets, they were sitting there, and, I don't know if you guys have ever been to a concert, but they just, how they just, the DJ plays music before the artists come out. So finally 7 o'clock came around, and obviously Travis Scott had some openers for him. Sheck West came out first, and then Gunna was after him. So, they got hyped that they were there, but obviously they didn't like them as much as they liked Travis Scott. Travis Scott was the reason they got there. So after Gunna's last song, these 2 kids came over, and, you could tell they were on something. Matt and Joey were looking at each other, they weren't stupid. They knew they were on something. They were vibing out, just being goofy. And so, Travis Scott comes out. It's lit. Everyone's super hyped. And then these 2 kids turn around to Matt and Joey and go, have you guys ever done acid? They look at each other, and they're like, well, no. Why would we ever do acid? And the kid's like, it's awesome. We're on acid right now. Do you want some? And pulled out a tab of acid and offered it to them. Now, Joey wasn't really, he really didn't want to do any of that. But Matt's like, dude, let's do it. It would be lit. And Joey's like, are you an idiot? We're at a concert. This would be terrible. And then the 2 kids that were offering it were like, just do it. Don't be a pussy. Just take it. And so Matt took it. And almost instantly after it dissolved on his tongue, he was starting to feel the effects. Now, the concert was, leading towards the end by the time he actually took the acid. So, when the music was pumping, he was vibing out. Joey didn't really know what to do because he's never been around acid, and it was Matt's first time doing it. So, he didn't really know how his body was going to react to it, how, if he was going to have a good trip or not. Anyway, the concert, he didn't really seem that weird. You could tell he was high, but, most of the people there were too, so he didn't really stand out. After the concert, they walked to the car, and Matt kept saying that he saw somebody, or, this figure, and he kept just saying random things, and Joey's like, we just need to get him home, we need to get him to bed. And so they drive home, they get to Matt's house, and luckily Matt's parents weren't home, so everything was all right. At this point, about 2 hours has gone by since he took the acid, and so they get there, and they sit on the couch, and Matt's just staring at the wall. And Joey's like, what are you doing, dude? You're acting stupid, stop. And Matt's like, dude, there's somebody in the wall. And so, Matt was just tripping, things weren't good. Joey was freaking out because he didn't know if he should leave him or, try to, trip sit him. And so, long story short, Joey was getting sick of Matt, so he just went home. And the second that Joey got home, he was getting a phone call from Matt. And Matt kept saying there was people in his house, and he was freaking out. And Joey's like, dude, just calm down. You're tripping. Nothing's going on. Just go to sleep. And so, Matt fell asleep. Joey didn't really hear from him the rest of the night. In the morning, he texted him, asked if he was okay, and he said yeah. So, more of the story, don't do acid. If you guys enjoyed the story, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to see, a different kind of video, comment what you want to see. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week.